My name is Notepad, and I write games for fun. So what are we doing today? Well, today we're going to be working on Anthrodesis Dissonance some more. So I did a little bit in the meantime, and you may be wondering, oh god, Notepad, what did you do? Well, I did the entirety of the magic section. So magic at its core is exactly what you think it is. It's pretty much a spell creation system. One of the major parts of it that I also had to do was that I needed to make things a little bit more freeform and a little bit more open. Hence why I actually use the Wadanahara's. Why I use Wadanahara's system for spell creation. I'm not happy with this section entirely, but I didn't quite know how else to handle it. The main difference is that hermetic cast between hermetic casters and shamanistic. Hermetic casters have rote spells. Originally, I wanted to make it so that shamans had to have a patron spirit. There were the totems were involved. I just got off a plane. Oh nice. Hello there. Hello, Ajax. Yeah, the idea behind hermetic casters is that they have rote spells. And rote spells are things that they've memorized, that they know. Shamanistic casters, on the other hand, don't. One of their things is that shamans effectively have to use tokens and such. That's how I had to kind of reposition them a little bit. So it's the idea of I want to cast Fireball. All right, you're going to use a Fireball token you have on you. You're not really limited in any method, but you're just limited by the number of these things that you have on you to do a free cast with. Make it a lot easier for you. The catch is that sometimes you can give these tokens away to other people so that they can use it. And you also have a lot more leeway in being able to use various things. For example, if you want to use, hey, I'm going to use my ability to... Oh, goodness. So it's kind of like how I pictured it was the idea of, all right, so you're looking at a situation. Let's say you need to get through a door. The hermetic caster is going to use a spell in one of their spells to be able to burst their way in while kind of suffering from the drawbacks of such. Shamanistic casters are going to put their explosive token on the thing, walk away, and say bang as the thing opens and the thing pops open. Or they're going to have a token saying unlock, and they're going to slap it on there and it's going to unlock the door. I have an introduction involving smuggling magic and lizard people. Yeah, that would work pretty well. Yeah, I'm not like 100% sure open with that method of casting. I don't know. I can see it in my head working, but I spent like a solid 2 hours yesterday trying to get shamans to function properly, and it just didn't work. I'm now reminded. I would also like to thank Terravale for following a few hours ago, and we got up to the funny number. Everybody laugh. Are you laughing yet? Cool. You're done laughing. Yeah. So that's what got done. If I sound a little bit tired, it's because I am. Uh, I had dinner and I'm like, I'm gonna lay down for a minute, and then I lay down for more than a minute, and now I'm kind of in like this weird flux state. One other thing I did add was on the nature of how humans deal with magic, and the answer is they do not. Humans do not deal well with magic, and they will probably die if they're subjected to it. And yeah, this seems like a little bit complicated to say, but it's like once you start getting into it, like you're not really going to do a lot of free casting. That's not the point. The idea is that you're going to be using kind of more generalized spells that you have an idea what they do. So let's see. Is there anything else that I'm looking at here? No. All right. So where does that leave us today? Well, today we look. Yeah. Our goal was to get done with. Our goal is to get done with tech stuff as well as social stuff today. That's our goal. Seems simple, but like most other things, it's not going to be difficult, not going to be easy. So let's get to it, shall we? Oof. Yeah, again, it just does feel like there's a weight on my back right now, and it's like, ooh, dookie then, time to go to sleep. And let's see, okay, we have to work with tech stuff. Okay, there we go. Hackerino, hacking. All right, let's do the hacking. Technology and actually, how do we want to do this? So it'd be technology and we'll just call it. Actually, we can call it something quirky, like the future is now. The future is now. Technology. Tech is an important. Okay. When humanity came through the portals, came through the gates, the world of Shinchaku was forever changed in a plethora of ways. One of the key ways was the rapid development and dissemination of human technology. The community has been steadily found since the dawn of time, while the residents dawn of time, surpassing the residents in technological. Humanity had been steadily advancing their technological prowess since the dawn of time, surpassing the residents in technology around the late medieval era. Some scholars attribute this to a conflict in the area. Have a conflict on the world, while others claim it's entirely due to the stasis theory, in which the residents never advanced, simply due to the fact that they didn't need to. Which effectively is how I'm going to justify medieval stasis. It's pretty much the idea of, if you are a society that just doesn't need to advance in tech at all, there's no reason for you to advance in tech. Which is kind of an odd thing to say, but if you look all throughout human history, every major kind of like phase in human development was usually because we needed to do something. It's, hey, we need to organize our communities better because we need to make sure that giant primal cave tiger stops stealing our families. To, we need to invest in our industry more so we can outproduce our enemy with better guns, with better ideas, with better soldiers, better equipment. Hey, we need to invest more heavily in research when it comes to like physics, when it comes to any of that, because we need to advance deeper. If you never have that exterior threat, or you never have that desire, you're never going to advance. There's no reason to. And that was kind of like the big thing in this world. It would be the people who were very low on the totem pole were low on the totem pole because they just couldn't advance, because the ones on top didn't want them to. It's like, if the Roman Empire lasted forever and they figure out that, they had the most flawless tools available to them, probably we wouldn't have advanced much further because there would be no reason to. It's just like, you don't need to invent the gun when there's no need for it. Like, that's the... there's a reason why we stopped developing bigger swords. Swords weren't useful anymore. Well, regardless of the reason, Shinchaku's industrial era and information era have rapidly actually, let me see. Shinchaku's industrialization was fully supported, funded, and continues to be owned by the humans. Let's see, some of the residents have some of the residents have rallied against the how do I want to word this? Okay. With the onset of new tech, while others have embraced it. So we are going to break this down, and we're going to give this the hacking. Hacking with technology advancing. Actually, human technology is based around a simple concept of the cloud. In a interconnected network of information and signals traveling between thousands, if not millions, of separate machinery. With so dealing Shinchaku. Proper access to GridNet services as on Earth. Localized networks have begun. Localized networks are the most common. If an individual were to want to, if an individual were to want, oh God, that's really weird. Okay, if someone wanted to access information on these local networks, they would need to undertake hacking their systems. Okay, so they would undertake they would need to undertake hacking their systems. So, here's where things get a little bit okay, so access to what we need to do. Okay. Okay, when accessing a grid network, the hacker will need to access when accessing a grid network, the hacker will either need to be present at an upload station inside of the network location, or succeed at a So actually what we need to do, okay, so if we undertake hacking, so we need to make this heading 2, need to make this heading 3. Separate dealing. connected network. So, okay, if we do this, what we need to do is break it down further. So what we need to do is, from hacking, you'd say grid access. Explain how grids function. If we explain how the grids function and how simple links are in, and then from here, we can access nodes and problems. Actually, nodes, gates. Be gates, nodes. Gates and nodes, how those function. And then it would be yeah, okay. And then we do grid access. Every grid actually it would be network access. Every local network and device every local grid and device is grid and network devices referred to as a quote network. Is referred to as a network, which the network has a complexity rating. To even access its system, to access it fully. Those with proper authorization may access the network without problem, while those who do not must make a, what would the check be? Anthrodesis. It'd be a computer check, yeah. It'd be an int plus computer. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Let me see. Well, those who do not must make a. Actually, must bypass the complexity rating with a computer. They actually be int plus computer check. Int plus computer check. If they are successful, access fully. If the hacker is able to access a upload node inside of the network facility, access a, we'll call it a terminal inside of the network facility, then they would be fully able to bypass the initial check. Bypass the initial check. So actually, on average, a network target, actually on average, a complexity rating of a network is around 4. Is around 4 to target number 4 to 5. If the network host is on high alert, or is a military or is a more secretive grid, network, this can easily be more in the range of TN 8 to 12. So the idea is just accessing it remotely is kind of difficult. Like if I'm like in the town, like if I'm in the Shinchaku residential zone and I want to access a corporate, computer, if I'm next door, I can access it via basically the cafe. As long as I can break into their complexity rating. But if it's a high complexity rating, I'm not going to be able to. And they're going to be able to detect that I fucked up. And you're going to get caught. So it's kind of that, like, okay, can I succeed at this goal? If you're good, then yeah, you can totally succeed at it. If you're not, maybe it's best to maybe get inside. This is where things of the other aspects, the other pillars kind of comes into assistance. You can hackers don't do this. That's one of the key things to remember. Hackers don't do this. A hacker does a lot of social engineering. That's how hacking usually works. It's, hey, we're doing, preventative maintenance. You send out a bullshit email of, we're doing preventative maintenance on this, and we need your password to make sure that we can, access things properly for a work account or something. And then you give them your fucking password. That's what it does. Anytime you see those like weird Facebook things, which are like, what's your favorite dog's name? They're not asking you what your dog's name is. They're asking you because that's a common security question. If they have your name, then from there, and they have your first dog's name, and the security questions pops up saying, what's your favorite dog's name? You can easily type it in. That's how it works. It's social manipulation, social engineering. Okay. It's actually really fascinating how you can so easily manipulate some people into doing things. It's great. So, okay. It's nodes. When the hacker has access to the network, they are confronted with gates, nodes. Each gate and node acts as a point of interest for the hacker to explore and waste time with. With no immediate ability to detect which one is which, the hacker will need to explore the nodes and uncover their secrets. And then we're going to say, so like combat. Actually, do we want to even? Actually, no, we're not going to do that. So, do we really want to? Okay, we'll do something similar to it. Well, yeah, we'll kind of make it like combat. Similar to combat, the hacker has entered a tense moment. The hacker has to perform simple or too simple or a complex action. With each turn, quote unquote, with each turn, building up the detection, building up the detection of the hacker by one step. So we need to do simple actions. So simple actions check. So this would be we need to do an identify, we need to do a check, identify, and a jack out. Yeah, those are the most basic actions available. So if we need to go back to combat just to make sure that I have things looking the right way. I want the idea is that this is very stressful and something is always going wrong. Oh god, oh god, oh god. So check. The hacker checks the hacker makes a check on the current actually checks the current detection and the actions of any rival hunters, any rival hackers. Identify. The hacker makes a computer check to determine whether or not let's see, hacker makes a computer check, or actually no, the hacker determines the target number of a gate or node that they have access to. This TN is what is needed. To bypass or access that node. Jack out. The hacker severs their connection. So the hacker severs their connection to the network. And then we need to do complex actions. Rapid cracking. So we need to do the hacker attempts to bypass. Actually, we'll call these invaders. The hacker attempts to bypass the target bypass a node or gate directly. The TN must be directly by rolling with roll the TN being determined by being determined by the difficulty to access it. And we're going to put a side note, we're going to put a footnote right here. The TN is never revealed until the identify simple action is used. But it can be attempted immediately. But it can be attempted regardless. But its success is not for certain. That's one of the big things with it being less like you can automatically go for it. You can say, fuck it. I'm gonna brute force hack this. I'm gonna kick down the door and I'm going to make my thing. I'm gonna make it happen. The problem is if you don't know what the hell it is, you don't know the TN up behind it. So it's just like, okay, I know there's a gate here. I need to crack this gate, and it's the T. And the GM says, like, okay, I know. Now the GM kind of sees in his own head. I know the target number is 5. He does not. I'm like, all right, make your computer plus hacking, and plus intelligence roll. Go for it. And you roll, and it's like, all right, I got 4 successes, and being like, you failed. Now, does 4 successes mean you failed? So yeah, you failed. You didn't get through. And being like, okay, now I know it's 4 less, isn't it? So do I roll? And I've wasted a turn doing that. If you already knew, being like, all right, I know it's 5. Maybe I can spend something to do it more. Maybe I can do something to improve my odds. Which actually, here, what we can do is analyze. The hacker reduces the TN of a node, or reduces the TN of a node or gate by 1. The hacker targets an invader, attempting to ward them off. Both roll opposed in plus computer checks. And the victor is the loser is, quote, stunned, round, unable to act. Pretty much, if you lose if you lose a spike check, like, I know he's there, I know he's here, he's here. We need to actually fix this. If I win, he ain't doing anything. He can't change anything on the fly. If I lose, I'm stuck. I can't jack out, which is one of the problems. It's like, okay, if I can no longer jack out, ooh, this is bad. Like, I can't leave, and that means my detection is going to go up. Editing. Change the contents of a node. Download the contents of a node. Erase the contents of a node. There we go. Nice and easy. So this is heading 3. This would be heading 4. Heading 4 as well. For real gamer hours. Complexity, authorization, secrets, acts as A, in int, complexity rating, and then I'm going to keep this real simple and just do that. Control Shift 8. Control Shift 8. Oppose computer check. Both roll oppose computer checks and loser are stunned for a round, and then we're going to do detection. Every round the hacker is in the system, in the network, the detection raises by 1. This represents the network attempted the network administrators attempting to mitigate the problem. Actually, what we can do is call it mask. Hide themselves. They make a check with each. They make a check with each success. With each success, lowering the detection by 1. Because you need to protect yourself, but that's also using a turn to do that. It's kind of a losing game. You know, it's a zero-sum game at the end of the day. You're not going to get anywhere if you keep masking, because it's a complex action. So it's like, okay, we're already this far in. I need to mask myself so things don't get worse. But if you're getting attacked, well, that's where things get complicated. To mitigate the problem. What the response is determined by the organization in question. Actually, no, we need detection level. Attempt to mitigate the problem. So detection level 1 to 3. Which is going to be detective level 1 to 3, cited. The hacker has been identified as a rogue agent. The rogue agent inside of the network. Actually, the hacker has been identified as a rogue agent inside of the network. Response is starting. Detection level 3 to 4. Protection. System administration. System administration begins to increase protection protocols. LTN. So we need to do LTNs increase by 1. By +1. And then detection level 5 to 6. hunting. System administration deploys an invader to hunt down and locates the rogue agent inside of the network. All TNs increase by +2 at this point. Actually, all node TNs increase by +1. All gate TNs increase. Actually, it'd be TNs. Target numbers increase by +2. So pretty much at this point, a invader has been sent out. They're going to try to stop you. They want to pretty much build up that detection further so they know where the hell you are. And once they figure out where you are, they're going to beat you to death. All the gates are getting a lot harder. So if you've identified that gate as a target number 4, it's now a target number 7. Because you increase it by 3 to 4. All it does is increase it by 1. When you're at that level, 1 to 5 to 6, it increases by 2 more. So you need to bring it back down. So it's like, okay, he's got me. Is he gone? We don't know. And then we're going to do detection 7 to 8. Which we can do is shutdowns. System administration. Authorization to lock files. Files have been given. With nodes being locked and with nodes being locked. So we'll call it a random node. A random node is locked. Actually, a node of the system admin's choice is locked. Unable to be accessed. Anymore. This occurs for detection 7 and 8. And finally, we are on detection 9, 10. Hunter killer. A hacker has been located by security forces. And security forces have been deployed to the location. All nodes are now locked. All nodes are now locked. There we go. It's brutal, but that's kind of the idea. It's like, don't stay too long. You will get fucked. coffee a bit grainy. Hacking. That's pretty much what you mixed, Ajax. It's hacking is effectively like kind of like a mini game. It's you need to go fast, you need to find what you need, and it's a lot about identifying and knowing when to mask yourself. When it's like, okay, my detection has hit this rank, I need to go back down my detection before I am found and shot. Oh no. What I should do is invader. I should put in, yeah, invaders. Invaders are hackers who are actively going against invaders are individuals who are actively going against the hacker during their time inside of the network. When invaders can perform the same actions, as well as perform the same actions as the hacker, but they can also attempt to signal instead of mask, doing the same thing, reversing the effects. The one advantage is that invaders have to inspect first and find things later. So one advantage is that invaders often only deployed as a last resort, and given specific instructions on how to deal with threat. Spiking them is a valid strategy to stun and eliminate their threat. Enemy hacker detected. Enemy hacker detected. Enemy hacker detected. Enemy hacker detected. But that's the secret. You can just hack anything you feel like. Will I put a EYE Divine Cybermancy character here? Yes, I will. Go hacking. So, okay, the future is now technology. What I should do is I'm going to put a side note in there for the magic people. So, side note. Magical stuff. Should a campaign focus entirely on the magical side of things with limited interaction with human cloud tech, have no fear. There is a particularly strange phenomenon known as what would be what's a good word? So I need something which would be, what would be anti-magic? Word. What's the opposite of magic? Disagreeableness. Is anti-magic magic? How do I want to word this? Pretty much it would be the act of, because I want to give people the freedom to choose what. If you want to run a primarily fantasy world based campaign, what the idea is, you can use this system to fucking dot hack your way through enchantments and shit, because it's using the same ideas. Actually, I have no fear. There's particular strange phenomenon among arcanologists. Actually, arcanologists, which show the eerie familiarity between mystic lines of enchantments and computer networking. What I'm saying is that focus primarily on magic and exploring Shinchaku. Feel free to have a hacker whose job is to break into someone's magic sword to turn off the orc sensing capabilities. So yeah, if you want to effectively make a character whose entire thing is, I quote hack into things, but the idea is that you're hacking into things, and it's not actually that particular. You're effectively hacking into people's magic items, then yeah. Which actually, give me 1 second. I need to check on somebody. Cryptomancer. Hi, Cryptomancer. This is written by a guy I fucking hate, by the way. I find this man reprehensible because he supports terrorism. Fantasy networks built on real networking. Okay, good. I actually did my own thing with it, and it's not completely fucking retarded. Yeah, no, okay. This uses its own little stupid system. Cool. I'm an original Sydney, and that's all that matters, because I fucking hate Chad Walker. If I want anyone to know anything about, Notepad Anon, it's that I fucking hate Chad Walker, and I find the man reprehensible in many ways. Well, it's because he's a dick. Okay, magical stuff. Slap it. Feature is now. Okay, we're hacking 3. What we need to do now is drone operations. Drones being introduced to the wider world and human consumption has allowed entire people to become designated as drone ops or as drone operators, or in less formal terms, dronies. Dronies are people with are humans, are people with the drone people with drone mother cybernetics, allowing them to manage multiple small drones, treating themselves as the quote network for all of them for them to function with. Dronies can access any of their drones drones through the network, allowing them to see, hear, and interact with things far beyond their reach. The only quirk is that drone mother cybernetics are costly, as well as dangerous to the mental psyche of the wearer. Mental psyche of the wearer is supporting too many drones. A droney with the drone mother may use a droney with the drone mother may operate up to the drone mother ranking. Actually, drone mother quality plus will in a number of drones with certain ones, a number of drones considered advanced or complex, taking up quote multiple slots in the drone mother's capacity. The drone mothers and mental ability of the droney capabilities. Multiple slots in the drone mother's capacity. So what does this actually mean? You can actually have multiple drones which operate kind of as different eyes, different things. So if you want to play someone who is not actually physically capable of fighting, or someone who isn't very good at it, get a drone mother and slot into something who can fight better, because it's a drone and you don't have to worry about that. Yeah, slop into someone who can just, into a robot with a gun. Cool, that's fine. The problem is, it's going to take up a lot of your basic slots, and you're going to have to kind of accommodate the fact that you have somebody else, and your brain is somewhere else. You are effectively using your mental capabilities to command something a ways away, which is where things get complex, where it's like, hey, it's a dissociation. If you haven't got the gimmick yet, dissociation is a popular term in this one. The idea of you're over here, you can feel your body here, however, your head and what you're seeing is somewhere else. It's the VR, situation. One of the reasons I can't use VR at all. I get really sick anytime I've ever used VR. I get really sick and really really fucked up motion wise. And that's why I'm like really not into the whole VR thing as much, just because I get so motion sick from it. And one of the reasons is like why that occurs so much. I had to read this up because I was trying to figure out a way to mitigate it. Is because your brain is saying one thing, your body is saying another, and what's in front of you, quote unquote, in front of you, is saying something completely different. Your brain says, "I'm flying." Your body says, "I'm standing." Your brain sees you are hurtling through the sky, but your body isn't hurtling through the sky, obviously, so you have this mass disassociation with it. And it's like, no like. Oh, sweet Jesus. Why is there so many people? What in God's name? Yeah, I envy you people who, I envy you people who can do the VR stuff. I like maybe it was just like the game we were doing. I know what it is. It's mostly my eyes, because without my glasses I am fucking blind. And obviously you can't really use glasses with the big VR goggles and stuff on, so it's like, okay, that might be it. And it was just like, God damn it. Damn this motion sickness. I know my friend's been trying to pitch me, and once I go visit my friends in the UK, he said like, yeah, they weren't using an Oculus. They were using something else. Mind you, this was the two experiences I had were at college, and one of my friends was working in the virtual technologies department. Yeah, one of my friends there was a VT guy, and he dealt with that, and this is like, here, try on our VR goggles. I'm like, this will be fun. Being like, this isn't fun anymore. Oh no. Yeah, they had I don't know what they had, but it was just like, I'm not feeling too hot. They're like, don't worry, a lot of people don't. I'm like, oh no. Oh no. Okay, let me see. What other tech stuff do we need? Because we got drone operators, we've got hacking, we've got what else do we need tech wise? So we've got our riggers, we've got hackers, we've got actually technomancy. Among Shinchaku's residents, a small, if heretical, school of magic has begun to form around the human technology, around the humans, called technomancy. Technomancers use tools and technology to enhance their own magical powers, even if they themselves are not the most accomplished magicians. Not the most accomplished. While most magic and interacts poorly with human technology. Technomancers have made their own bits and pieces in an effort to compensate their weaknesses. A technomancer item. Okay, let me see. There are few technomancers around, numbering in the dozens formally, but they have set up various locations to study their craft. Including the Shinchaku Zone Research Facility. Shinchaku Zone Research Facility, allowing them to meld technology and magic together for everyone. In practical game terms, a technomancer's item can be used by either humans or residents without essence gain. That essence can be used by humans without essence gain, as well as being, quote, empowered by traditional magics. Technomancer gear and technomancers are often regarded poorly among their magical peers as being little more than upstarts, as being at best upstarts for their craft, and at worst a dangerous terrorist trying to destroy the fabric of reality and Shinchaku's way of life, and deserve nothing more than excruciating death. You can't play a technomancer, one, because I don't even quite know how to do that in the system, and two, you can still find technomancers and they'll help you out with stuff. It's just nobody likes them, and everyone's kind of scared of them. It's like, oh boy, look at me, I'm a technomancer. I've developed something cool. I developed a tool that allows humans to use magic effectively. Nobody likes that. Nobody does. Not a single human being, not a single person is like, that's a good idea. Well, all the humans are like, that's a great idea. Not a single resident of Shinchaku is like, that's a good idea. No, how they don't like you. They're like, we have one advantage over humanity, and that's magic. And even that's not like a good advantage because they have guns. Like, it's astounding when you're an ancient wizard of ultimate power, being shot by, a fucking 50 cal from 30 miles away is a very good way of not being a great and powerful wizard anymore. Being like, you are a dead man is what you are. So that's pretty much the tech one. So now we get to worry about social interactions. This one will be pretty short. So, the final and one of the most important pillars is social. Every campaign, the words spoken by many are important for every. I don't want to word this. Social interactions form the basis of the, quote, unity of Earth and Shinchaku. Social interactions form the basis of the unity of Earth and Shinchaku. Without it, the basic fabric of society would break down, and the fighting would resume. When a character is deciding to become specialized in the art of conversations, social interactions. Actually, people are the core of the social pillar. Whether it is ancient Asian scholars dictating the arcane to their pupils, or some punk who's trying to hold up someone for vouchers. And what we can do is jobs and contracts. Actually, how do I want to work? Because this is a very easy section to kind of just say this is what it is. It's this is the social part of the game. Interact with people, but I want to add something at least a little bit to it to give it like, this is an important thing that you should kind of like understand. Like it's cool to talk to people. What I was thinking about doing, do I want to put in actually we'll do minor expeditions. We can do minor expeditions. We can do actually no, we can do the faction system. The faction game. During the campaign, the characters will encounter dozens of unique factions, people, unique factions, all desiring their own thing, all desiring something from both worlds. These factions support those who align themselves with them, and can provide benefits to wanderers who need it. Each faction is ranked using three parameters. Is ranked out of 6. Is ranked out of 6 with 3 parameters. We'll do size, importance, and resources. Faction size. Size determines how many people and associates they can claim their own. Faction size determines how many people and associates call that theirs. Most people can technically belong to many factions, but this one would be their core identity, or at least a major part of their life. Important. The faction importance ranks how important and well known the faction is to the outside world. Factions who are incredibly important and well known can be easily identified by many, while those who are not tend to be either secretive or not relevant enough to have a voice. The faction resources is simply how much the faction can bring to bear, can bring to the table to assist. Factions with limited resources. Factions with limited resources may only have a few armed guards, or a few resources. Limited resources may be poor, looking for resources, or only sparingly spending them on others. Those with many resources spend them freely to maintain their power. And then we'll do a example faction. Shinchaku Zone Research Facility. And the faction size is going to be 2. There's actually not that many. Faction importance is 5. And faction resources is 4. That's literally it. This is this entire section in a nutshell. I feel like do faction stuff and kind of get the idea of use this as a method to kind of direct how things are going. What do people want? How do they want to do it? Or how are they able to do it? Let's see. The researchers only number in the dozens, with around 100 students. Studying at any point. Granted funding. Actually, with powerful grants, academic support, and with academic support, and the faith of humanity, the researchers of the Shinchaku Zone are given a lofty title of the how do you want to do this? The explorers explorers of the other side. Actually, let's call them the pioneers of the other side, and faction resources for. Those grants didn't go far. Didn't go that far. While they have the resources available, most are tied up in paying staff and making sure the lights are on. What can be spared? What can be spared is what can be spared are few. Little can be spared directly, but at least there is a quote wandering budget for those needing field research done. Yeah, honestly, I think this is all I'm going to do for this section. I don't think there's really anything else I can do. So, yeah, we'll call that there for today. We got what we needed to do, what we needed done. So, let's see, we got... Do I really want to have the racism chart? Nah, fuck it. Nah. So, what we'll do is next Monday, we will work on equipment and see how far we can get with that. I have the ideas, I have the numbers, it's mostly just doing it, and luckily, oh yeah, I could probably just, quote, lift from my own stuff and see what kind of just fits over in a pretty nice way. I'm gonna have to adapt some of how damage and stuff works just to accommodate how the system, but it should be pretty easy once I figure out at least a handful. So then we get to do on next Wednesday, we do the types of campaigns as well as any side rules and notes and things like that. That's going to be like vehicle rules. Seems important, but it's like, do we really need vehicle rules? Who knows? It's going to be things like that are just little tiny and still important for its own sake. And that's also where I'm going to be putting things like combat modifiers, hacking modifier, all the little things that you think about, but you don't want to bog anything down with. Let's see. We also have, let me see, is there anything else big and important and exciting? Oh, yeah. Tomorrow we are actually going to be doing a curious case. Well, today, I guess, because it's a little after midnight. In fact, I'm going to... no, I don't really need to put it on here, because people should already know. But yes, we're going to be... Actually, I should put it on there. Notifications. We'll call it at noon EST. Noon EST. Take half an hour. And we're going to be going over a few games that are kind of interesting that I'm actually interested to take a look at. And I don't think they get talked about. Well, some get talked about, some don't. And those games are, let me just open up the correct folder, correct document. We are going to be looking at We go right down here. We're going to be looking at Shinobigami, which is actually a really interesting game. Kind of fucky. We're going to be looking at Tokyo Nova, Witch Quest 2nd Edition, and Kamagakari. These are the ones we're going to be looking at. And I'm interested in how people kind of see these, because these are all very unique games. None of these are fear games. We have seen Shinobigami's system once before, but I think they handle it a lot better in this one than in the Kantai Collection game. So hopefully people enjoy that one. This is also a Shinobigami is weird because it's actually a PvP game, which is really weird to think about. It's like a PvP game. What? Most likely, I don't quite know how I want to do the order yet, but it will either be Kamagakari or Shinobigami first. Just because Kamagakari has, well, we got to go over Kickstarter lore with Kamagakari, and it's not fun Kickstarter lore. Let's just say that. It's not going to be fun lore. It's the someone ran off with the money. Then we get to move on to Shinobigami. Shinobigami being first is like, this is one people really don't know about, and I would like to introduce people to it. I'm like, here, let's talk about a cool game. It's very weird, but yeah, I'm interested. Hopefully things go well there. Is there anything else that's fun and exciting that I should tell people about, because I have big memory and I think things? Yes, actually. If we go to itch.io and we type in there. Oh wow, look everyone. It's my new game, Stigmata, Faith and Fury. You can download the experimental PDF or the black and white PDF from here if you want to give me shekels. Please. Oh god. If you are in the server, you can go up to PDF Doomer time and download the black and white version. The horrifying experimental branch is already up here. So, yeah, this is it. Hopefully things go according to plan there. Is there anything else that I can think of at the top of my head? I do not believe so. So, thank you all very much. My name is Notepad, and I will see you tomorrow at noon EST, and we'll be going over Japanese things. Domo arigato, fuckboy.